In 2025, the world is louder than ever. Everyone has an opinion, everyone wants to be heard. But let me tell you this, your power doesn't come from proving yourself to people, it comes from proving yourself to you. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you stop wasting energy on arguments that don't pay you, validation that doesn't grow you, and noise that doesn't move you forward. Silence is not weakness. It's strategy. It's choosing to channel your energy into your craft, your health, your business, your vision. Most people talk about what they're going to do. Few people are silent enough to do the work. Silence is not about isolation, it's about elevation. Because the time you spend explaining, debating, and seeking approval is the time you could be building. Silence builds power because it forces you to master the very thing most people are afraid of themselves. In today's world, everyone wants to be seen, heard, and validated. Social media, constant updates, endless debates, it all gives us the illusion that speaking more, posting more, and explaining ourselves more is a form of progress. But the truth is, real strength is not found in noise, it's found in control. Silence is control. When you can stay silent, you hold the most valuable currency in life, self-mastery. Think about it. How many people waste hours of their day explaining their plans, defending their opinions, or arguing with others who don't even matter in their journey? That energy could have been invested into building skills, improving health, or taking action on their dreams. Silence is not about avoiding communication, it's about choosing where your energy flows. When you learn to be silent in moments where others would talk, you are teaching yourself the discipline of patience. And patience, combined with action, creates power. There's a reason why the most successful people don't always talk about their moves before they make them. They let their results speak. A student who studies silently surprises everyone with high grades. An athlete who trains in private shocks the world with performance. A person working quietly on a business idea doesn't need to announce every step. They let the launch itself make the noise. Silence builds mystery, and mystery builds respect. The less people know about what you're building, the less they can interfere with your process, discourage you, or throw doubts at you. Silence also sharpens your focus. When you talk less, you listen more. To yourself, to your intuition, to the opportunities around you. Most people are so busy projecting their thoughts outward that they fail to receive the wisdom that comes from within. In silence, you become a better observer, you notice details, you analyze situations, and you respond with clarity instead of reacting with emotion. That's why silence is not emptiness, it's awareness. It gives you the space to process, to think, and to decide from a place of strength. There's another dimension to this. Silence protects your vision. When you share too much about your goals, you open the door for criticism, negativity, and sometimes even envy. Not everyone wants to see you succeed, and not everyone is qualified to understand your path. By staying silent, you keep your vision safe from the noise of other people's opinions. You avoid the temptation of chasing applause for unfinished work. You protect your dream until it is strong enough to stand on its own. But silence is not passive, it is active power. It is the ability to withhold words and transform them into actions. Every time you choose silence, you redirect that energy into something productive. Instead of telling people what you're going to do, you actually do it. Instead of seeking recognition for your effort, you let the results earn you recognition naturally. Silence is not a lack of voice. It is a powerful voice expressed through action. In relationships, silence gives you strength too. When someone provokes you, staying silent shows you're in control of your emotions. It prevents you from reacting impulsively and saying something you'll regret. In negotiations, silence is often the strongest tactic. You don't always need to rush to fill the space. Sometimes, silence makes the other side reveal more than they intended. Even in conflict, silence can disarm aggression and shift the energy in your favor. Most importantly, silence creates inner peace. In a noisy world, silence is your shield. It's the practice of stepping back from the chaos and returning to yourself. You don't need to announce every struggle, every pain, or every victory. Some things are meant to be experienced deeply within. This builds resilience, because when you learn to validate yourself in silence, you stop being dependent on external validation. And when you don't need approval to move forward, you become unstoppable. So when we say silence builds power, it's not about being mute, it's about being intentional. It's about choosing when to speak and when to let silence do the work. It's about converting your words into actions and your actions into results. It's about creating a life where you no longer need to announce your strength because your presence, your discipline, and your results announce it for you. Silence is a superpower that few people cultivate because it requires patience, discipline, and self-trust. But once you master it, you will notice a shift in your life. You will attract respect without chasing it. You will command attention without asking for it. And you will achieve more without explaining more. In 2025, the world will get louder, but you don't have to. Your silence will be your weapon, your shield, and your foundation. Stay silent, stay focused, and let the world feel your power when the time is right. Discipline over distraction is one of the greatest challenges in 2025 because the world has never been noisier, faster, and more tempting than it is today. Everywhere you look, there's something pulling at your attention. Social media notifications, endless videos, gossip, comparison, and constant entertainment. The mind is under attack every second, and those who lack discipline are consumed by distraction. The reason many people don't reach their goals is not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they can't stay focused long enough to finish what they started. Discipline is the weapon that separates the average from the exceptional, the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers. Discipline is the ability to say no when distraction says yes. It's the power to keep working on your vision while others are wasting hours scrolling on their phones. It's the decision to go to the gym when your body says rest, to study when your mind says later, to wake up early when the world is still asleep. Discipline is not glamorous, it's not always exciting, and it's not comfortable. But it's the foundation of success, because without it, your goals remain dreams, and your dreams eventually fade into regret. In 2025, the biggest distraction is not just entertainment, it's information overload. We are drowning in choices, drowning in voices, drowning in options that look urgent but add no value. Discipline gives you the ability to filter the noise and focus on what matters. It's the power to ask yourself, does this action bring me closer to my goals, or does it pull me further away? Every distraction has a cost, and most people don't realize that every wasted hour is a stolen hour from their future. Discipline makes you conscious of this cost, and once you see the price of distraction, you no longer treat it lightly. Discipline is also about consistency. Anyone can work hard for a day or stay focused for a week, but discipline means showing up every single day even when motivation fades. Motivation is temporary. It rises and falls with emotions. But discipline is permanent. It's the habit you build that carries you through when you no longer feel like it. It's brushing your teeth daily even when you don't think about it. It's sticking to your routines even when nobody is watching. It's training your mind to obey your vision instead of your impulses. With discipline, you don't wait for the perfect mood, you create results regardless of your mood. Another truth is that distractions are easy, discipline is hard. But discipline gives you what distractions can never provide you: freedom. Distractions give you temporary pleasure but leave you empty afterwards. Discipline may feel like sacrifice in the moment, but it gives you the long-term rewards of confidence, success, and self-respect. The person who sacrifices discipline for distraction ends up trapped in regret, while the person who sacrifices distraction for discipline ends up free. That is why discipline is not punishment. It's the highest form of self-love. It's saying to yourself, I respect my future enough to do what needs to be done today. Look at the people who inspire you, the ones who have built something great in their lives. You will notice that discipline, not luck, is their common trait. They practiced when nobody cared, they studied when nobody was watching, they worked in silence while others were distracted. Their greatness was not built in moments of attention, it was built in hours of unseen discipline. This is proof that in 2025, with all the noise and chaos around you, the ability to discipline yourself is the ultimate competitive advantage. Discipline also protects your focus. Focus is fragile. It takes time to build and seconds to lose. Every distraction breaks your momentum, and the more you allow it, the weaker your focus becomes. But with discipline, you strengthen your attention span, you train your brain to stay locked in, and you gain the power to go deep instead of shallow. While others are addicted to quick dopamine hits, discipline gives you the ability to delay gratification, to enjoy the deeper satisfaction of long-term achievement. The truth is, discipline is not about being perfect. You will slip at times, you will get distracted at times, but discipline is about returning to your path quickly. It's about remembering that every small choice matters. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you cast a vote for your future self, and those votes add up until you become the person you decided to be. In 2025, discipline is rare, but that's why it is powerful. While the majority chase distractions, you can rise above by building habits that ground you, routines that strengthen you, and a mindset that refuses to settle for less. Discipline is not about restriction, it's about direction. It's choosing to steer your life toward purpose instead of drifting into emptiness. It's refusing to waste your potential on noise and using every ounce of your energy on what truly matters. If you want to separate yourself from the average, if you want to build something extraordinary, discipline must become your closest ally, because distraction will always be available, but success will not wait. Your future depends on the choices you make today. And if you choose discipline over distraction, you will not just survive in 2025, you will dominate it. Growth in solitude is one of the most overlooked truths in life. Most people fear being alone because they associate solitude with loneliness, but solitude and loneliness are not the same. Loneliness is emptiness, but solitude is strength. Loneliness drains you, but solitude grows you. When you learn to embrace solitude, you step into a space where distractions disappear, where noise fades, and where you are left with the most important person you will ever meet, yourself. It is in that silence, in that stillness, that you discover who you really are, what you want, and what you are capable of becoming. In a world as fast as 2025, where people are constantly connected and endlessly stimulated, solitude has become rare. Everyone is plugged into conversations, notifications, and entertainment, and very few take the time to disconnect and sit with their own thoughts. But that disconnection from yourself is dangerous, because if you never meet yourself in solitude, you will always be shaped by the world around you instead of by your own vision. Growth requires reflection, and reflection requires solitude. Without solitude, you risk living a life based on other people's expectations instead of your own purpose. When you step into solitude, you create space for clarity. You begin to hear your inner voice, the one that is often drowned out by the opinions of others. You start to notice patterns in your thinking, your habits, and your choices. You begin to ask yourself powerful questions. Am I living in alignment with my values? Am I wasting my time on things that don't matter? Am I building the life I truly want, or am I simply following the crowd? These questions are not easy, but they are necessary for growth, and you can only find the answers in solitude because solitude forces honesty. You cannot lie to yourself when you are alone with your thoughts. Growth in solitude also happens because it allows you to recharge. Constant interaction drains energy, even if it's with people you care about. Every conversation, every distraction, every demand takes something from you. But solitude fills you back up. It restores your energy, sharpens your focus, and strengthens your mental resilience. Just as your body needs sleep to recover, your mind needs solitude to reset. Without it, you burn out, you lose direction, you start living on autopilot. With it, you gain clarity, creativity, and strength to face the challenges ahead. Another dimension of growth in solitude is skill development. The hours you spend in solitude are the hours that separate you from the rest of the world. While others are distracted by noise and social validation, solitude gives you the space to practice, to study, to create, and to build. Every great writer, artist, athlete, or entrepreneur has spent countless hours in solitude honing their craft. Their growth was not a result of constant applause or external approval. It was born in the quiet hours where nobody was watching. Solitude becomes the training ground where ordinary individuals transform into extraordinary achievers. But solitude is not just about productivity, it is also about self-awareness. In solitude, you learn to sit with your emotions instead of running from them. You process your fears, your insecurities, and your doubts. You learn to face them, understand them, and eventually overcome them. This emotional growth makes you stronger in relationships, in business, and in life. People who avoid solitude often carry unhealed wounds because they never give themselves the time or space to process what they are truly feeling. Solitude gives you that time, and through it, you heal and grow. Solitude also teaches you independence. Too many people depend on constant validation, constant company, and constant approval. They fear silence because silence exposes the parts of themselves they haven't dealt with. But when you master solitude, you no longer depend on the world to keep you entertained or validated. You learn to enjoy your own company, and that independence makes you powerful. You no longer need to chase people for happiness because you carry it within yourself. And when you bring that self-sufficiency into relationships and work, you attract respect because people can sense the strength of someone who is whole on their own. The irony is that solitude, which many fear, actually makes you more connected to others. When you grow in solitude, you bring your best self into the world. You listen better because you've learned to listen to yourself. You give more because you've learned to fill yourself. You inspire others because you've done the inner work that most avoid. Solitude is not selfish, it is preparation. It prepares you to show up stronger, wiser, and more impact in every area of life. Growth in solitude is not always comfortable. It can be painful because it exposes truths you may have ignored. It can feel heavy because it demands responsibility for your life. But it is exactly this discomfort that transforms you. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and character is formed in solitude. Those quiet hours where you resist distraction, where you dig deep into your thoughts, where you work without applause, those are the hours that build the version of you capable of greatness. In 2025, solitude is your advantage. Most people will run from it, filling every second with noise and distraction. But if you choose solitude, you choose growth. You choose clarity over confusion, purpose over wandering, and strength over weakness. Solitude is not an escape from life. It is the foundation for living it fully. Embrace it, and you will discover that the most powerful relationship you will ever build is the one you have with yourself. And from that relationship, every other part of your life will rise. Actions speak louder because no matter how powerful, will always remain empty without the evidence of effort. In 2025, when everyone has access to platforms where they can talk, promise, and project an image, the ability to back up words with consistent action has become the rarest and most valuable trait. Anyone can say they are going to succeed, anyone can declare their goals publicly, but only if you can demonstrate through their actions that they truly mean what they say. Words create noise, actions create proof. And proof is what the world respects. Most people waste their energy on speaking about the life they want, but they never take the steps to build it. They talk about their goals in conversations. They post about their dreams online. They promise themselves they will change, yet nothing moves forward because their energy stays trapped in words. Action, on the other hand, is transformation. Action is movement. It's the decision to rise early, to practice daily, to make sacrifices, and to keep going even when no one is watching. Actions are silent, but their impact echoes louder than any announcement. Think of this truth. The world rarely remembers promises, but it always remembers results. If you tell people you are working on something big, they may applaud for a moment, but if months later you have nothing to show, those words vanish into the air. But if you say nothing and then reveal a completed project, a stronger body, a successful business, or a mastered skill, your silence followed by results speaks in a way words never could. Actions carry weight, and weight commands respect. Actions also reveal character. Words can be rehearsed, polished, and manipulated, but actions expose what is real. A person may claim discipline, but if their actions show laziness, the truth is clear. A person may preach about integrity, but if their actions show dishonesty, no amount of words can cover it. Your actions are your mirror, and they reflect your true values and habits. That is why it's said that actions don't lie. They cannot hide the truth of who you are becoming. Another reason actions speak louder is because they inspire others far more than speeches. People are not motivated by what you say as much as by what you do. If you lead by example, if you demonstrate discipline, consistency, and persistence, you give others permission to believe in their own ability to rise. Parents influence children more through what they practice than what they preach. Leaders earn loyalty not through slogans, but through demonstrated courage and sacrifice. The best way to change the world is not to tell people what they should do, but to live as proof of what is possible. In personal growth, actions are the bridge between intention and achievement. Everyone has intentions. Everyone has plans and ideas. But without action, intention dies. You can read every book, watch every motivational video, and set every goal, but if you never act, nothing changes. Action turns knowledge into wisdom, vision into reality, and potential into results. Even small actions, repeated consistently, accumulate into massive growth. The problem is that most people wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect motivation before they act. But waiting is an illusion. Action itself creates clarity, builds momentum, and generates confidence. It is also important to understand that actions have compounding power. One disciplined choice today leads to stronger choices tomorrow. One consistent action multiplies into habits, and habits shape identity. Over time, your actions build your destiny. The life you live is not determined by what you say you want, but by what you repeatedly do. Every day you cast votes for the person you are becoming through your actions, and those votes matter more than your declarations. In relationships, actions are the foundation of trust. Words may promise love, loyalty, and respect, but actions prove whether those promises are real. Trust is not built on what someone says, it is built on the consistency of what they do. In business too, actions separate professionals from pretenders. Anyone can market themselves with big words, but clients, customers, and partners look at results. If your actions deliver value, people will return. If they don't, no words can save your reputation. Another truth about actions is that they cannot be faked for long. Someone can pretend for a while, but time always exposes consistency. Words may win attention quickly, but actions win trust slowly. And trust, once earned through actions, is nearly unshakable. This is why the most powerful people in history are remembered not just for what they said, but for what they did. Their actions left footprints that no words could erase. But actions require courage because unlike words, actions involve risk. Words are safe. You can say anything without facing failure. But actions demand vulnerability. When you act, you risk making mistakes, being judged, or falling short. Yet it is in that risk that growth happens. Failure in action still moves you forward because it teaches, while endless words without action keep you stuck in the same place. So when we say actions speak louder, it means that in the end, your life will not be measured by what you talked about, but by what you built, by the lives you impacted, and by the results you produced. Words fade, but actions leave legacy. In 2025, as the world grows noisier, the quiet achievers will rise because their work will outshine the voices. Let your actions be your statement. Let your results be your response. Let your discipline be your voice, because the world may doubt your words, but it cannot deny your actions. Control your energy because it is the most valuable resource you own. Time is limited, but energy determines what you do with that time. You can have 24 hours in a day like everyone else, but if your energy is drained, your hours are wasted. Most people believe success depends only on time management, but in reality, success is energy management. In 2025, distraction, stress, and negativity are at an all-time high. And if you allow your energy to be scattered everywhere, you will have nothing left to invest in yourself or your goals. The ability to control your energy is the ability to control your life. Energy flows where attention goes, and that means every choice you make is either furling your future or draining it. Think about how often people waste energy on gossip, arguments, unnecessary drama, or proving themselves to people who don't even matter. Every word spoken in anger, every hour wasted on comparison. Every moment spent chasing validation is energy stolen from progress. When you choose to stay silent instead of arguing, you conserve energy. When you choose to walk away from negativity, you protect energy. When you focus on your goals instead of distractions, you multiply energy. Controlling your energy is not about being emotionless, it's about being intentional. Your energy is levels, and those levels are influenced by your habits. What you eat, how you sleep, how you move, and what you consume mentally all affect your energy. A body furrowed by junk, a mind filled with negativity, and a spirit weighed down by toxic environments cannot perform at its best. Controlling your energy means making choices that strengthen you daily. It's choosing exercise to build stamina, choosing good food to fuel your body, choosing rest to restore your mind, and choosing learning to expand your growth. Every small choice builds or drains the energy you carry into your work, your relationships, and your dreams. Energy is also deeply connected to the people you surround yourself with. Some people inspire you, support you, and give you energy. Others drain you with complaints, criticism, or constant negativity. If you do not control who has access to your energy, you will find yourself tired without even knowing why. Protecting your energy sometimes means creating distance, saying no, or choosing silence over constant availability. Not everyone deserves access to your energy, and the more you guard it, the more powerful it becomes. Your energy is like currency. Spend it wisely, and you will grow richer in results and peace of mind. Controlling your energy also means managing your focus. Energy scattered is energy lost. If you try to do everything, you end up accomplishing nothing. But when you direct your energy toward one clear goal, you move faster and stronger than you imagined. Just like sunlight can warm the skin, but a magnifying glass can turn that same light into fire. Your energy can be ordinary or extraordinary depending on how you focus it. Many people fail not because they lack talent, but because they spend their energy in too many directions. By controlling where your energy goes, you create momentum, and momentum is unstoppable. Another truth is that energy is contagious. The way you carry yourself affects the people around you. If you walk into a room drained, negative, and defeated, that energy spreads. If you enter with strength, focus, and positiveness, that energy also spreads. Controlling your energy is not only about protecting it for yourself, but also about elevating others with it. Leaders inspire through energy more than through words. Families thrive when energy is supportive rather than chaotic. Teams succeed when energy is disciplined and unified. Your energy has impact, so mastering it is part of mastering influence. It is also important to understand that energy is not infinite. You cannot give it away endlessly without refilling it. Many people burn out because they are constantly giving but never replenishing. Controlling your energy means learning when to push forward and when to step back. Rest is not weakness, it is fuel. Recovery is not wasted time, it is preparation. When you ignore your need to recharge, you damage your energy reserves, and over time, your performance collapses. By respecting your energy cycles, you sustain long-term growth instead of short bursts followed by exhaustion. Energy is also tied to purpose. When you live in alignment with what truly matters to you, your energy increases naturally. Purpose energies you more than sleep or food can. That is why people who love what they do often seem unstoppable. They draw energy from passion. On the other hand, if you are doing something that does not align with your values, your energy will always feel drained no matter how much you rest. Controlling your energy requires aligning your actions with your vision so that your energy works for you instead of against you. In the end, controlling your energy is about ownership. You cannot always control circumstances, but you can always control how much energy you give them. You cannot control what people say, but you can control whether you engage. You cannot control every obstacle, but you can control whether you respond with power or waste energy on frustration. When you master this, you become unshakable. People will wonder how you stay calm under pressure, how you keep moving forward despite challenges, how you seem to carry strength when others collapse. The answer is simple. You do not waste energy on what doesn't matter. You direct it fully into what does. In 2025, many will burn out because they give their energy to noise, distraction, and negativity. But if you choose to control your energy, you will rise above the chaos. Your energy will become your shield, your weapon, and your secret advantage. Protect it, focus it, and multiply it. Because in the end, success is not just about how much time you had. It's about how wisely you invested your energy. Staying unshakable is the ultimate strength in a world that constantly tests your patience, challenges your values, and tries to pull you away from your path. Life is not meant to be smooth. It is meant to test you. Every storm, every rejection, every failure, every criticism is designed to see whether you will break or whether you will hold firm. To stay unshakable means that no matter how strong the wind blows, you remain rooted in who you are and what you are building. It does not mean you never feel pain. It does not mean you never struggle. It means that through the struggle you stand tall, you adapt, and you keep moving forward. In 2025, the world is louder, faster, and more uncertain than ever. People will try to shake your confidence with their opinions. Society will try to shake your focus with distractions, and circumstances will try to shake your hope with unexpected obstacles. But when you decide to stay unshakable, you are no longer a victim of what happens around you. You become the master of how you respond. Life does not reward those who collapse every time things get hard. It rewards those who can remain steady when everything else is unstable. Being unshakable begins with your mindset. If your mind is fragile, the smallest problem can knock you down. But if your mind is trained, disciplined, and anchored in purpose, even the biggest storms cannot break you. You become unshakable when you stop expecting life to be easy and instead prepare yourself to be stronger. Most people pray for fewer problems, but the truly unshakable person prays for more strength to handle problems, because they understand that the weight of life will never disappear, but their ability to carry it can always grow. Staying unshakable also means controlling your emotions. It is easy to react with anger when insulted, to collapse in fear when uncertain, or to drown in doubt when criticized. But reacting emotionally often weakens you, while responding calmly strengthens you. Silence in the face of negativity, patience in the face of delay, and courage in the face of fear are the signs of an unshakable character. It does not mean you don't feel emotions. It means you master them instead of letting them master you. The unshakable person also understands that opinions are cheap. Everyone has an opinion about how you should live, but not everyone carries the responsibility of your life. If you allow people's opinions to shake you, you will constantly shift directions and lose yourself. To stay unshakable means to trust your vision even when others doubt it, to walk your path even when others laugh at it, and to hold your head high even when others criticize. Remember that people often doubt you not because you cannot succeed, but because they cannot imagine themselves succeeding. Their limits do not define your potential. Another layer of being unshakable is resilience and failure. No one succeeds without setbacks. And no one grows without mistakes. Failure shakes many people because they treat it as an ending, but the unshakable see it as a lesson. They do not allow one failure to destroy their belief in themselves. They rise, they adjust, they learn, and they move again. Resilience is not about never falling. It is about always rising. To stay unshakable means that no matter how many times you fall, your determination to stand is always stronger. Staying unshakable also requires discipline. If you are easily distracted, easily tempted, or easily influenced, you will never remain steady. Discipline gives you the ability to stay on your path even when the world pulls you in different directions. When others are chasing shortcuts, the unshakable stay committed to the process. When others quit because progress is slow, the unshakable remain consistent. Their strength comes not from sudden bursts of energy, but from steady, disciplined persistence over time. Energy also plays a role in being unshakable. If you waste your energy on negativity, toxic environments, or unnecessary battles, you weaken yourself. But if you protect your energy, focus it, and use it wisely, you become stronger in the face of challenges. The unshakable person does not fight every battle. They choose their battles. They do not waste time proving themselves to people who will never understand. They conserve their strength for the goals that matter. By controlling their energy, they protect their stability. Staying unshakable is also about faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your vision, and faith that even when the path is unclear, you will find a way. Without faith, challenges will always feel heavier than they are. With faith, even the biggest challenges feel like opportunities to grow. Faith is not about ignoring reality. It is about believing that you are greater than the obstacle and that your persistence will carry you through. Finally, to stay unshakable means to live by principles rather than circumstances. Circumstances change daily, but principles remain steady. If you live by circumstances, you rise and fall with the situation. If things go well, you are confident, but if things go badly, you collapse. But if you live by principles, discipline, integrity, focus, growth, then no matter what happens around you, you remain steady because your foundation is strong. Principles make you unshakable because they give you direction even in chaos. In the end, staying unshakable is about building a foundation so strong that life's storms cannot break you. You will be tested, you will face setbacks, and you will encounter moments where it feels easier to give up. But every time you choose to stand firm, you grow stronger. Every time you refuse to be shaken, you prove to yourself that nothing outside you has more power than what is inside you. And when you reach that point, when your vision, your discipline, and your resilience outweigh any obstacle, you become unstoppable. In 2025, while others are chasing attention, comparing themselves, and collapsing under pressure, you will stand tall. Because staying unshakable is not just strength, it is the ultimate advantage.